welcome to another edition of It's Your City. I'm Bob Crowell, and I have the honor and privilege of being the mayor of the greatest city in Nevada, our very own capital, Carson City. And as you know, every couple of weeks after a board meeting, I give a rundown of what happened at the board meeting and maybe some other things that are going on around the city at the same time. And so let me talk a little bit about what happened at the last board meeting. The board meeting was on January 17th. I think you'll be seeing this one just after that board meeting concluded. We had a number of items on the board, before the board. First, let me say it was a pleasure to serve with new supervisors Shirk and Bunkowski. That was their first board meeting. We had a lot of things on our plate, and I'd like to think that we hopefully worked through a lot of those things in due course and gave everybody a chance to participate and to come to some reasoned decisions. Let me say that on the board, we had some of the issues that took the most time, and they should take the most time, were the reports of our internal auditor, who by contract is Moss Adams. They were tasked by the audit committee and approved by the Board of Supervisors to look at three areas in our community. One, the reimbursement of the public defender for indigent defense services in our community, where we pay the state for the public defender services. Second was the operation of Eagle Valley Golf Course. And third was a community facility cost recovery analysis. We went through each of those in some detail, and in two of those reports, the board accepted received the report of the internal auditor. We had a lengthy discussion about the Eagle Valley Golf Course in particular, about what's happening out there. The Eagle Valley Golf Course is behind on its rent payments, what to do about that. There were some recommendations in the internal auditor's report. I don't know if those are going to we'll be looking at those over the time, but at the end of I think it's fair to say at the end of the discussion on that, the internal auditor brought a lot of facts to our attention, and we'll be taking those facts under advisement as we go forward here with respect to the operation of Eagle Valley Golf Course. That is a fairly complex issue out there. For a number of reasons, not the least of which is the fact that the city uses the golf course as a part of its sewer treatment process, as it does with the other two golf courses in town, as it also does with the medium security prison out south of town. So there are a lot of issues there, but we're going to be thinking about the facts that the internal auditor brought to us on that, and we'll see where that one goes. On the community cost recovery issue, the internal auditor had, I guess in a nutshell, we offer a discount, a deep discount to our nonprofit organizations in town for the use of what's called the community center here. There's a question, and the internal auditor report said that we give a deeper discount in Carson City than we do than most other jurisdictions do. Most other jurisdictions are somewhere around 20 or 25%, maybe 30%. We're well above 50% on some of those discounts to allow our nonprofits operating in Carson City the ability to use the facilities. And it also, we're going to take a look at those to see if we can tweak those discounts, and also to see if there's a way where we can gain additional revenue through advertising and marketing of certain of the events. And also, as the internal auditor said, we're going to take a look at the joint use agreement between the Carson City municipality and the school district, where we have a mutual agreement between the two of us that we get to use their property, they get to use ours, with the idea that there would be kind of an equal balance of use of both jurisdictions' properties. What the internal auditor recommended and what our Parks Department said they would do is take a look at that joint use agreement to make sure that we were all that the split of services was about equal. That's kind of the sense that people have, but we need to have that documented. So we're going to be taking a look at the joint use agreement. We want to be good neighbors with the school district because we all live in this community, but we also need to make sure that, we're getting as equal amount of benefit out of the use of school district facilities that they're getting out of city facilities. So those things will be discussed over the coming months here. Also, what we did was approved the lease of 625 square feet of property on what I call Cemetery Hill, at the corner of Roop and Northgate in that area, that had received a special use permit by our Planning Commission. We approved a lease of $1,500 a month with a 3% escalator a year, and with the caveat that it's a low visibility cell tower for AT&T. But we had a long discussion about whether or not the appraisal was correct, and whether or not it was the right thing to do. And at the end of all that discussion, the board agreed to enter into a lease agreement for the cell tower that would also provide, as I said, it's a low visibility cell tower, but it would also provide space for other cellular companies that might want to come there and also lease from the city, which would give us a little bit more revenue in a sense. But the big driver is that, and I asked this question, why don't you put the cell towers up on McClellan Peak or one of the lower peaks around there? And the answer I was given is that with the new technology and cell service, they can't, the cell site is limited not just by line of sight, but by distance for power purposes. And so in order to give accurate and good cell service in Carson City, it was necessary to have a cell site somewhere in one of the higher areas in our community. And so that was kind of the theory on which we decided that it was in the best interest of the city to do that, so that we could all enjoy decent cellular services in our community. We also, at the same time, agreed to extend the the offer of development for the Carrington Company on the Carson Mall, the old Gottschalk's property. They have a potential national retailer that wants to come in, but they've had a little bit of difficulty finalizing a lease. They have a letter of intent, so we authorized an additional extension of the time for which they could enter into that and still comply with the redevelopment authority's requirement on fulfilling or filling that space and getting a benefit from the redevelopment authority. Let me also say that we went through and appointed board members to the various boards and commissions that we do every year generally, and some are a lot of the boards and commissions appointments are either 1 year or coterminous with the supervisor's or mayor's term of office. I just want to let you know who is going to be doing what. Supervisor Abowd will be the mayor pro tem for 2 years. Supervisor Bunkowski and Supervisor McKenna will sit on the Regional Transportation Commission for a 2-year term ending December 31st, 2014. Supervisor Bunkowski will sit on the Debt Management Commission for a 2-year term expiring December 31st, 2014. Supervisor McKenna will continue to sit on the Parks and Recreation Commission for a 4-year term. Supervisor McKenna will also continue to sit on the Audit Committee for a 1-year term. Supervisor Abowd will sit on the Cultural Commission for a 2-year term. She will also sit on the Carson City Convention and Visitors Bureau for a coterminous term of her office as supervisor. Supervisor Shirk would be our delegate to the NACO, the Nevada Association of Counties. I would stay on the Nevada Commission for the Reconstruction of the V&T Railroad. I would be, because I would be on the Western Nevada Legislative Coalition. That's with the 4 counties surround the Carson City plus the 3 counties that surround us. And on that would be also John McKenna. And we also appointed Shelley Aldine, who is the incoming. She is not the incoming. She is the president of the Tahoe Regional Planning Agency, excuse me, because she is the president of that organization. Although she's no longer on the Board of Supervisors, she is the Tahoe Regional Planning Agency I think it was in December, appointed her as the incoming, as a chair. And that's a big honor for Carson City to have one of our own be the chair of the Tahoe Regional Planning Agency. Matter of fact, I can't recall when that has ever been done. We also asked Supervisor Shirk to sit on the Airport Authority, and Supervisor Aboud would take over liaison with Nevada Works, and Supervisor Bunkowski would be our liaison to the Northern Nevada Development Authority. That kind of gives you an idea of where the board members, what boards and commissions and liaison positions the board members will have in the upcoming year here. And that about concludes our business concluded our business for the last board meeting. As you all know, the legislature is in town, and when you hear this message, the money committees will already be starting work at the legislature, and we look forward to being a good host, the capital city being a good host for all the legislators to come. Not only does it increase the visibility of our capital, but it provides some good revenue for a lot of our establishments. So we welcome the incoming legislators and their staff to our great city. That's about it for today's wrap-up. Again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me or give me a call. And the numbers are listed on the city website. And as I do every day, and I do on purpose, I want to thank each and every one of you. Thank each and every one of you for what you do to make our community a better place to live, work, and play. On behalf of the Mayor, Office of Mayor, thank you very much.